A beautiful afternoon to you and welcome to Business This Week, your ultimate program where we take a critical look into economic issues that are shaping our world of today. On today's episode on the show, we'll be taking a look at ECOWAS, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger Republic. Military coup broke out in these countries in the year 2020, 2021 and 2023. And to that effect, these three countries were suspended from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. ECOWAS is a regional body that is made up of 15 member countries in the West African sub-region. Created in 1975, 49 years down the line, by the founding fathers, Yakubu Gowon of Nigeria and Ganasibe Eyedema of Togo, to bring economic activities of these countries together by linking them together through the same body known as ECOWAS. But over time, over the years, it seemed like the principles of the founding fathers is being eroded. I have my guest joining me from Michigan this afternoon in the United States of America, Dr. Kenwa Obaseki, and I have a guest seated in the studio. He's a lawyer and a legal expert. We'll be looking at it from the economic aspect and the legal aspect. I am Lawrence Osifo. Welcome. All right, Doctor, let's set the record straight. Let's begin. Let me begin with you before I join my guest here in the studio. Okay. Now, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, was actually established in 1975 by the founding fathers, General Yakubu Gowon and Ganasibe Eyedema of Togo. The idea behind the establishment of this regional economic body was to foster economic trade amongst the 15 member nations. When the military coup broke out in Burkina Faso, they were suspended by ECOWAS. Military coup broke out in Mali. They were suspended by ECOWAS. Then in July 2023, another coup broke out in Niger Republic. They were also suspended by ECOWAS. Now, the military regime came on board on Sunday and they said they are no longer interested in being members of this West Africa sub-regional body that fosters economic trade. Now, first and foremost, how will the exit, because they are saying they are leaving, but ECOWAS Commission is saying, no, you can't leave because there was an article when you were joining the organization that you must be a party to this organization. So when you want to go, there's a way to go. You can't just pronounce verbally that you're leaving. Now, let's look at if this eventually happened, which the military leaders over there already said they don't want to be a part of this economic body again. What are some of the economic impact it's going to have negatively on the West African sub-region and the remaining 13 nations of ECOWAS?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Well, first of all, we must define what is ECOWAS.
Okay.
If it's just an acronym, it's economic community. You call it economy. Has ECOWAS really achieved that word economy?
Okay.
I think it's just a social community. You have the AU there to handle all the African crisis. If they had lived up to the true meaning of ECOWAS, people will not be living.
Okay.
First of all, we want to ask ourselves, why are there so many military coups?
Exactly.
You have even Chad, even the ECOWAS, which is Economic Community of Central African States.
Yeah.
Yes, you have military coup there, Chad, and then you have four. If I am not mistaken, Senegal had one time.
True.
Whether they are back to the civilian, it's cool all over because ECOWAS has failed.
Okay.
Let's look at it.
Okay.
You become a member of an organization, and just to maybe prosper and improve your economy, and if that fails, then you have the right to withdraw. You see, I applaud them for leaving But what I'm concerned about, if they put the union, the new union, above their personal interest, Africa is on the way up. I see them trying to mimic East African community. East African community. This is not the first time they are trying this. If you recall, East African community, Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda tried it. The country, their union was booming. They had one embassy, had one train station, railway. They had one, name it, and they cut costs. They were going until they introduced Idi Amin, and everything just went to drain. But right here, if they put the union above their personal interest, I see it as a win-win situation. I have not read the details of what they plan to do, but when I looked at the countries involved, I wish Guinea had joined them so they can have access to the sea. Because
why do you have that? Why do you have that wish?
Oh yes, because we are very vindictive. You recall, Nigeria was ready to go and invade Niger
Republic.
Yes, and when the military took over in Niger, you saw the jubilation of the people.
Yeah, the people were actually rejoicing.
And then they welcomed all of a sudden, Nigeria was saying, no, you cannot go. You must be like Nigeria. Look at Nigeria. Nigeria is a disaster. It's a disaster right now. And if I can second guess Nigeria, they were afraid that a similar coup may happen
in Nigeria. True.
Yeah, because you can't hold the people. If I had the opportunity to meet with the ambassador from Tanzania and a friend of mine. We hosted them here in Detroit. The discussion was that how can they bring back that East Africa community that almost catapulted them, and that's what I see going on right here now. We should support them, I applaud them, but especially in fact it is also a defense mechanism for all of them to bind together. There have been several attempts on this young guy, is it Traore?
Traore of the Republic. Abdurrahman Traore.
Of the BURKINA FASO. There have been several attempts. But you see, when you have a bigger union, it doesn't matter. And it's well structured. Whether you take Traore away or you take that of Mali away, their union will still prosper. That is what we need in Africa.
All right, let me speak with the legal expert here in the studio with me. Let's also get his own view from the legal aspect. Now, Barrister, the ECOWAS was established, like I said earlier, 1975. That's 49 years down the line. The idea behind it was it's going to be an economic community that fosters economic activities among member states. That's the 15 member countries that makes up the commission. They have the authority of the head of state and government, and we have the ECOWAS court. Now, a coup breaks out from a country. It is the authority of head of state that are suspended as against the ECOWAS court. Do they have the legal right to do that?
Well, thank you very much. Yes, first of all, you want to understand that there are guiding principles regarding anybody that is created.
Absolutely.
I'm not hearing the lawyer.
ECOWAS is not an exception. When ECOWAS was formed, there was also bodies in ECOWAS that was created. Now, if you look at chapter 3 of the treaty, you see the composition of the various bodies that were formed in ECOWAS. And that includes the authority, the Council of Ministers, and even the Court of Justice, we all know. So when you're looking at whether the the authority now per se,
have the power.
Have the power
to suspend as against the ECOWAS court.
Exactly. Now you want to look at what the treaty says.
Okay. That about the establishment.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you go down the treaty and understand some part of the treaty, you see that powers was given to the authority.
The authority of head of state.
Place suspension. Yes.
Okay.
If you look at Article 77 of the treaty, you see where they stated that the authority may,
yes, not will.
May.
Okay, may.
So that also gives them
the right to will.
Yes.
Okay.
To use that their power.
The
to
power.
Suspend.
Okay. More like a veto power they have right there to suspend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if they find any member states wanting breach of the obligations placed on them in ECOWAS, then they may
suspend.
Exercise that power. Yes, to suspend.
Wow.
To suspend the having party now, which we all know, Burkina Faso,
Mali and Niger Republic. So,
yes, they were given the power to do that.
Okay.
Now, when you have any dispute,
among member states,
because one of the things that these member states are complaining about is that the sanctions are too heavy.
Exactly, that is it.
Too heavy. Now you now look at whether this authority were acting in the ambit of the power that was given to them. Yes, or they went further to implement sanctions
that are not supposed.
Exactly, that was not envisaged in the treaty.
Okay.
So what provided in such an instance is that where there's a dispute as to the application or the terms as contained in the treaty, the member state has the right
to withdraw.
No, not to withdraw now. To seek redress in the
ECOWAS court.
Yes, so to get proper interpretations of
what the article of the treaty says.
Exactly. So that's what I think. Rather than going out and complaining that these sanctions are heavy, they have the right to approach the courts, but they opted to exit, and they are members of ECOWAS. They know the old part of the agreement they signed.
Before joining.
Yes, so they understand it very well. So they know that there are procedures
to follow. That is what the ECOWAS Commission is actually saying right now, that they don't follow that procedure, that they cannot just say verbally that they are exiting.
Well, yes, the ECOWAS body is actually right in that
perspective.
Looking at section Article 91 of the treaty, it stipulates guidelines for any member state who wishes to exit the commission. Yes. So if you see, one of the things states that a written notice must be given to the executive secretary
within 1 year, and
that notice will last for 1 year.
Yeah, I saw that recently.
Yes, 1 year. So, and during that 1 year, they are to obey. They are still considered members
of the association, the organization,
the community.
Yeah, the community.
So they are to remain and observe
every laws that binds them together. Nothing has happened.
Yes. See the expiration of that 1 year before their exit can be confirmed, and it automatically take effect.
Okay. Another question before we go back to Dr. Akenowa. Now, that of Burkina Faso was in the year 2020. This is 2024. That of Mali was in 2021. And that of, Niger was just not up to a year, July last year. Between then and now, after suspension, wasn't there supposed to be a kind of maybe mediation sort of to meet with the junta, the military coup, those guys who seized power by force, to have one-on-one conversation with them to return to democratic rule instead of those heavy sanctions of suspension, and suspension?
Well, in my view, that was where I would fought ECOWAS.
Exactly.
They have not really placed enough efforts to mediate over these issues.
Okay.
Now, there are diplomatic ways to
go about it.
Yes, to go about all this. Now, if you look at the coup that happened in 2020.
Yeah.
2022.
2023.
And even 2023.
Yes,
so they have time to call for a proper settlement of this dispute.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that the treaty also made provisions for resolution of this
dispute amicably and diplomatically.
Exactly. That before you even approach the court, you can even meet through different bodies and organize a proper way to settle this dispute. And these people, they are open to negotiations, they are open to dialogues. So I expected ECOWAS to utilize this and ensure that rather than going to use force as what we heard earlier on, that the ECOWAS was to use force to revert back to democratic rule, which those military, the military regime actually kicked against it. They told them that they should enter their territory, whatever they see, let them go with it. So ECOWAS has really failed in that aspect. So they should employ more or enforce the negotiation
and diplomatic measures.
To see that these issues, crisis facing ECOWAS community is resolved rather than the use of force, which really escalate to more crisis.
More crisis, exactly.
More crisis in the ECOWAS community. And when this is not done, you see that other member states, we want to look at these other countries that have started having crisis in ECOWAS.
Absolutely.
And they might even want to join.
True.
So proper measures need to be taken very urgently to ensure that all these crises are resolved. Once and for all.
All right. Dr. Obaseki, are you still there? Now, I'm coming back to you, Doctor.
Yeah, but I didn't hear a single word.
Oh, from the lawyer?
I didn't hear your discussion.
Okay. We just try to look at the legal aspect of it, knowing that the ECOWAS have an ECOWAS court, which is supposed to be the people who will be the one melting at suspension on ECOWAS. But he was saying that the authority of heads of state and government have the power to actually do that, because the article that established ECOWAS in 1975 actually give them that power and authority to exercise suspension. So that was what the lawyer right here was actually saying. That was what the lawyer here is.
Individual countries.
The ECOWAS, not the individual countries.
ECOWAS.
Yeah, that the ECOWAS have.
Africa is a strange
so that's why I want to come back to you now. So you tell us from your own point of view, is it right, or rather, is it legal for the authority of heads of state and government of ECOWAS to be the one melting suspension on ECOWAS, or that is supposed to be the work of the ECOWAS court? Because ECOWAS is headquartered here in Nigeria, in Abuja precisely. The ECOWAS court is also here. All the decisions are taken here per se. So were they supposed to be, is it supposed to be the authority of heads of state and government, or they would have gone through the legal means of the ECOWAS court?
Yeah, I think you see, you can suspend a member, but you cannot force any member
to remove.
From leaving.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, you can't force them against their will.
That's true.
Like I said before, I applaud these people. You know, if there's anything I can do to make them succeed, because I believe that's Doctor,
hold on. It seems like you are now supporting military coup in a civilized.
No. Well, military coup. If you want things to remain the way they are in Nigeria, you know, it's hell there. I'm here.
Remember, they always say that the worst form of democratic rule is actually better than the best form of military rule. Let's not get that aside.
You mean like in Nigeria right now? You want to tell the people of Nigeria that life is just good the way it is now?
Well, some persons from one angle, from one side of the divide, will actually agree with you that life is good, while some persons from the other side of the divide will tell you.
Well, those who are making money like that young lady, what is her name?
Let's face ECOWAS. Let's leave Betta's issue aside. I think Betta has been suspended, and the presidency know what they are doing with Betta Edu. So
do you know what's going to happen?
Okay.
More countries are going to exit ECOWAS.
Okay.
And I see the union formed by these three groups, three countries, succeeding and pulling all their resources together and then it will become very attractive. You will see all the people who are hopeless from Nigeria, Ghana, they will all be trooping to whichever union they form, and that will be the takeoff. But again, all the power that they are going to do everything to make sure they don't succeed. Like I said before, Nigeria was ready to go and invade Niger until Burkina Faso warned that if Nigeria send their troops there, they are going to send their troops to Niger. Okay. And Mali said the same thing. Guinea said the same thing. And to crown everything, Algeria warned Nigeria not to do it. So Nigeria will be fighting almost 3 or 5 countries. You see, you cannot stop people from progressing. Okay. This is the typical backward way of thinking. That is, hey, we should all remain poor. You know, but I see them, if they are able to, if they succeed in mimicking the East African community, the sky will be their limit. Okay. And I see them succeeding. They will rescue Africa. Okay. They will rescue Africa.
All right. You know, now,
that's my view.
Okay. My next question, Doc. The truth is, 15 member nations have been in this community for the past 49 years, and there still seem to be some lapses of some certain things they've not been able to achieve. Now, 3 are saying they are leaving. Do you think if these 3 comes together to put their heads together, they can achieve what 15 couldn't achieve for the past 49 years?
More than. I mean, you can have redundant 100 members and nothing is being done. And they are supposed to have 2 or 3 focused and dedicated members. Okay. And they will move mountain.
Okay. Okay, so you, from your own point of view, you actually feel or think that these 3 countries can actually come together in unity and make the economic environment of their 3 countries better off than what it has been with the 15 countries for the past 49 years?
100%. Okay. 100%. That's my view. Okay. Because it's not they have challenges, no doubt about that. It is, first of all, the mindset. Yeah. You see how patriotic they are.
Absolutely.
You see how focused they are. Unlike Nigeria, that doesn't have that patriotism. You know, I discussed that with Chief Enaro. I have been in this for a very long time. Look at this. This was Chief Enaro. This is my right here in my house. From here, before Chief left the U.S., he called Tinubu from my house, and thanks to Tinubu, he declared almost a public holiday when he went back. As I told him, all Nigeria needs to be structured. You need something like what these 3 great countries are trying, the Francophone country are trying to build. They want to build a
Doctor, to you, the 3 of these countries are great countries.
Oh, they will be great countries.
By exiting the ECOWAS community.
With the mindset.
Okay.
With the mindset.
Yeah.
You know, you see, it doesn't matter. Even if Nigeria has 100 trillion, and the mindset, you have the mindset of Nigeria the way it is now, where people want to siphon money, they want to it's like Nigeria is a different entity that we must steal from it. It can go to places. Okay. See, that's what is happening. And especially Burkina Faso is 34 years old. You know, 34 years old, and there are a lot of them thinking like that Traore. I believe he was born 6 months after Sankara died.
Yeah.
You know, and Sankara was eliminated because he had the same view. There have been so many attempts on his life. You know, you can't underrate the power of union.
Okay.
They are trying to form what they call their NATO, which I applaud.
Okay.
I applaud them.
All right. Okay, Doctor, we have to go on a break for a few minutes. I'll be back to you. Let's continue the conversation. All right, welcome back to State Business this week, and we are still looking at the exit of the 3 member countries of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic, that just made their intention known last week Sunday that they are, or rather this week Sunday, that they are exiting the ECOWAS community because these 3 nations has been suspended by the ECOWAS community, being that military coup broke out in these countries, and according to ECOWAS, they cannot be part of illegality, knowing that to them they already see a military coup as an illegal means of taking over government. So I still have my guest talking to me from Michigan, United States of America, Dr. Kenowa Obaseki, and the legal expert here in the studio with me in Nigeria, Melody Ujebun Esquire. Okay, now, Doc, my next question. Now, considering your expertise in global affairs, what are some of the broader geographical implications that might arise from this exit in the regional bloc?
Problem.
Okay.
If I believe their borders will still be open. Those who buy into their philosophy that they need a greater Africa, they can come in and not mess the union for them.
Yes.
You know, and if it is well structured, especially the legal, the governing, everything will run smooth. You know. Yeah, it's like coming to the U.S. with Nigerian attitude. You know, you won't succeed. They won't let you. You know, but I don't see I don't see the union closing their border. Business will still be flowing. But okay, consider what has ECOWAS achieved? Nothing.
But that's your own. That's your own. Doctor, that's actually your own personal point of view, thinking they've not achieved more or much, because we've heard the ECOWAS say they've constructed a whole number of linked interroads from one country to another, transmission of gas pipeline from one country to another. To them, these are economic activities that they've achieved over the years.
No, not enough to change the life of the average West Africans.
Okay.
You know, why are they complaining? Why would there be military coup if things are running smooth?
That's another question everyone is asking. If things are fine in this country, why would there be military coup?
Yes. Yeah, why would there be military coup?
Okay.
And the more military coups are still going to occur.
Well, let's not project, Dr. Obaseki, let's not project or try to want to, because when people hear military coup, those who experienced it in the 70s and the 80s, some of us weren't born then. We heard the stories, we read about it.
Yes, I fought Abacha. You saw that picture?
Yes, I did.
With,
I
did. Chief Enaro,
yeah.
You know. And I when I met Wole Soyinka in Boston, I did throw some accusation that we were just fighting. We won the war but lost the peace.
Okay.
You know, and that we ought to structure Nigeria. Then in his Baritone voice, oh, Papa should have. No. But you see, we are bad. Nigeria is worse than it was during Abacha. Am I correct?
Well, that's from your own point of view. You're correct in your own point of view. Go ahead. Go ahead, Doctor.
Well, I would love for the union that is formed by these 3 patriotic Africans to succeed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I would love for them to succeed, and hopefully they will set the example for the other Africans to follow.
Okay.
It's not necessarily to just start overthrowing government. Like Babangida said, if there is no hopelessness and hardship, no military coup will succeed.
That's true. That's true.
We saw and in the Nigeria, they were ready to go and fight if Nigeria had invaded Niger. And you saw what the 7 border states in the north, what they expressed to Nigerian government, that if you try to invade Niger, you have declared war on the north.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. Let me join
nobody likes military coup.
All right.
But nobody likes military coup. Okay. But when the hardship and the hopelessness, it's so great, you have no other choice. You don't stay in an abusive marriage for so long. You have to leave.
But when you're living an abusive marriage, you should live legally by means of divorce, not just saying I won't do it again, because there was already a binding law, or rather there was
those an oath. On papers. Those are on paper. Like I said before, it is ECOWAS, economic
community.
They call it, even the central, that of the Central African states,
yes.
Which Chad is a member. It's also economic,
Okay.
But I see Chad in the future. This is my prediction.
Okay.
I see Chad in the future breaking away from that central, and they will join Niger, Burkina Faso
and Mali.
And hopefully Senegal or Guinea.
Okay.
We join them. They will have access to the sea.
Okay. All right, let me join back the lawyer here in the studio with me in Nigeria. Now, Barrister, you've heard all Doctor said, and it seemed like
I wish I can hear the barrister too.
Okay, I think you will hear him now. I'm pretty sure you will.
I hope you can hear me now.
I'm pretty sure you will. Maybe it's just one or two technical, but let's see how it goes. Now, you heard what he said about the whole coming together of these 3 countries to want to make up their own community. He said he's in support of them coming together, but though he's not in support of the military coup, because like I said earlier, the worst form of democratic rule is actually better than the best form of military rule. In democracy, you have freedom of speech, you have freedom of association, but in military, if I don't think in Niger as we speak, or in Burkina Faso and Mali, their media houses are working just the way we're working here in Nigeria. I don't think so. So, from your own point of view as a lawyer, do you actually think this is a right step in the right direction for these 3 nations to just exit like that?
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
So, I had the salient points that was dropped by Dr. Obaseki.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's right instead that this exited or alleged exited member states, they have a proper cause for exiting.
Okay.
Because these states have really suffered. If you look at the economical effects in these states, it's really it's worrisome. You understand? So Niger, if you look at Niger, they have like one of the poorest economic.
Absolutely.
Yes, the poorest economy in Africa.
In Africa.
Or in the world, per se. So if you look at that, that has really tended to spark this idea of military takeover. Yes, so that they can be free from this. They call it,
the article they released, they call it slavery. That was what the military leaders tagged it.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's more like a democratic
slavery. That was what they said.
They have suffered for a number of years now, and ECOWAS has really failed to improve the standard of living in these communities.
Okay.
So they have a very strong point for leaving ECOWAS.
Okay.
If they want to leave.
All right.
But like Writer said, there are procedures, there are
to
guidelines.
Follow.
Yes, there are guidelines to do these things. It's not when you say, for instance, an abusive husband and the wife will just live like that. No, he has to get a divorce properly from
a court.
From the court of law that is well-clothed with jurisdiction to entertain such matter. You understand? So when they have this crisis in their states, they know the proper thing to do rather than through military intervention. Though you want to understand why these countries have gone to use military force
to take over power.
Yes.
Okay.
But still, the law is the law.
The law is the law. Exactly, the law is the law.
So they have to uphold the rule of law and ensure that these things, because going back to
the old days, more like going back to darkness.
Exactly.
When we left the dark
whatever
age.
progress they have made, if there's any progress, it will be a futility right now. Because everything has been cancelled. They have to start
again all over from afresh.
From where they have built before. So I think the idea of military coup is never a very strong option.
Okay.
But the tension now is whether other states, like rightly said by
the other 13 states now that are remaining.
Exactly. Whether they want to look into the idea of these 3 states that have left and join them.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say, because they are seeing the sanctions being placed on these bodies, and if you look at the general economic situation in Africa, you wouldn't want to subject your economy to such harshness.
Absolutely.
You understand? That is being placed by sanctions by the ECOWAS. So you want to tread carefully to ensure that you are doing the right thing, and even though you have any form of agitation whatsoever with ECOWAS, there are proper channels to do this,
to
channel your grievances. And also, ECOWAS has, I could commend them for the idea alone of coming together to form
as a West African community, for trade agreement and all that.
So, but one thing you should understand, that in Africa,
what trade?
Okay, doctor, we'll get there. We'll come to you on that.
So, one thing you should understand, in Africa, there is always this issue of self-interest that always creep into anything that
that you're doing. So me, myself, and I first.
Exactly. And one of the challenges ECOWAS is facing right now is that even the individual states that form the ECOWAS body, they are even struggling individually.
Absolutely.
If you look at Nigeria, Nigeria is
struggling.
Nigeria is said to be the
giant of Africa.
Exactly. The giant of
and
Africa.
Spearheaded country that spearheaded the establishment of ECOWAS.
And they are struggling.
Okay.
So it's really, really, really bad that we are in this situation.
All right.
But now, the right thing needs to be done.
Rightly and legally. Okay, Dr. Obaseki. Now, what are some of the impact these developments would have on existing trade agreement? Because I mentioned trade a few seconds ago. You were like, which trade? There's a trade agreement between these member countries, because it's an economic community. Everything that have to do with the economy from this country, that is this member state to this member state. So what are some of these challenges that the economic trade agreement might have with the pulling out of these 3 member states, now leaving 13?
When we measure economic trade, I laugh. Before the European came to split Africa and merge Africa the way they desire,
okay,
there have been trades across the border. Our mothers, they sell moi across nobody stops the other, as far as your leg can go. You go and grab them. Are those the trade they are talking about? Most African countries, they trade with the Europeans, the Chinese. Trade between African nations is so minimal. That is where Ruto of Kenya is trying to spearhead right now. That yes, we don't need to buy this in dollar. Let it buy in local currency. So whatever you can offer me, you offer me. Whatever I can offer you, I offer you. Again, my advice to these 3 countries that broke off, and whichever union they form, they can go just source for experts, even within Nigeria. There are so many bright Nigerians that can go and to the union, help them set up things. We say corruption is our problem in Nigeria. Now, if they have a good structure within these three countries, you know, they are set to go. All they need is experts, resources, those who will work under them, not as a corrupt nation. You will see how they will prosper, you know. You see how they prosper. Many Nigerians, they leave Nigeria, they are here in the US, Europe. They perform marvelously, you know. But in Nigeria, it's a total failure. So it's just the system. So that's why I applaud these three countries coming together. They look like dedicated people, patriotic, and not putting self above the nation. You know, like in Nigeria, you see, it's my turn, it's your turn. The struggle for the presidency is fierce because that's a source of making money. What you call patriotism is out. You know, when the AD North, they approached Chief Enaro when he was in exile to form a government and run for the presidency. I told him, yes, if you are ready to do that, we in diaspora will help you. You go in there, not that he's going to be a perfect president, but structure the nation. Okay. If it is strong, well structured, nothing, you see how Nigeria will prosper. I told him, even if you can make me the vice president of Nigeria, I don't worry. But structure Nigeria, that is what is missing. You have 147 useless and redundant universities in Nigeria.
Doctor, you can't actually say that because students are there.
No, they are useless.
No,
look at the country.
No, doctor, I won't agree with you on that because I am actually a product of one of those universities you just mentioned.
No. When I use the word useless, it has nothing to do with inferiority. Okay. Inferiority is different from uselessness. Okay. If you cook the most palatable food for me and I cannot eat it, it's useless to me. You know, for Nigeria with 147 university and that country looks the way it is, it means the education is useless. You know, I retired from General Motors, the biggest company in the world. My designers, they don't even have most designers who design those big, good products, you know, that is selling all over the world. Many of them don't even have a 2-year college. Meaning it's like your OND, you know, they don't.
The NC and the OND, sort of.
Yes, but I'm not trying to downgrade. I'm a product of Nigerian education. Okay. But what I'm saying is that Nigeria university is being rendered useless. You have the graduates, they are all roaming the street. They are doing nothing. The country, not that the country is developed, it's oversaturated. It's oversaturated with people with degrees. You know, when you see. When I gave my presentation, look at Ogbamudia here. This is myself and Ogbamudia. It was a topic we had, you know. Okay. He couldn't wait for me to finish my presentation, and he told me, yes, all what you are suggesting, I try to implement. You know, what prevents the president, you know, for stirring up this nationalism? Let's build Nigeria. You know, the British made us construct roads, you know. They did not bring people from Europe, you know. Nigeria built Nigeria. Okay. That's what you need. When I was growing up, there was water, there was electricity, and roads. They were all good. They were all built by Nigerians.
That's true.
Why can't we build it now?
Okay, Doctor, we have less than 5-6 minutes to wrap up the show. Let me just take your closing take before I join my the legal practitioner right here with me in the studio. Now, what do you foresee in this whole exit and some of the future prospects? Do you think that these three countries might actually go back to the table and say, no, we can't leave. Let's go back and join them. Because according to ECOWAS, according to the ECOWAS community, they are saying they are not aware that these countries have exited because there's no written document yet from them. It was just a verbal exit. You know, that they cannot honor anything verbal because there was a written agreement at first before they became members that they should write to them before they can acknowledge the fact that they've exited. So to wrap it up,
well, if that's what they want, they can just put it in writing, send it to them.
Okay.
You know, unless those three countries, they were joking. If they are not joking,
okay.
Yes, they should not come back. They should structure their country. You see, look, Nigeria is acting like a big bonfoo. Look at all the families where the first one is a bonfoo. The whole family, that will be the head of that family. That's why a typical African is so strict about their first son. He cannot afford to be a bonfoo. You know, Nigeria is supposed to lead the whole of Africa. You heard what Mandela said. Many people about Nigeria.
Dr. Obaseki, I think this is where I'll actually be wrapping it up with you so that I can join my guest here in the studio.
Your legal advisor.
It's actually not my legal advisor. He's a legal practitioner. All right. So, barrister, now what do you foresee in this whole exit, and what do you think will happen in the near future? Will Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic actually say, no, we are not doing again, let's go back in order for economic growth and oneness in Africa?
Well, you mean
or rather West Africa. No, the lawyer here, not you, Doc.
Well, what I foresee is that, first of all, this is a wake-up call to ECOWAS.
Exactly.
To take up their responsibility as the governing body in West Africa.
Okay.
So what they can do is, why not go back to your founding principles?
Okay.
And look at those things that they have failed to do. And these are what the exited member states are complaining about. They're accusing ECOWAS of.
Okay.
Now, why don't you go back and just get to understand these principles and implement them? Okay. And with this, you can easily renegotiate with these countries that have left or desire to leave, and make things work out for them. And if they have the proper understanding of the plans ECOWAS have for them, come on, nobody is against negotiation, settlement.
Okay.
You understand? Even though it's a military regime right now, but they are still fully open. There are reports that people are communicating with them, negotiating for a way out of this crisis we have in ECOWAS right now.
Okay.
So with that, I feel that if ECOWAS can actually do that, then what I'm saying is that these countries, there's a possibility of them coming back and retracting from
what they've said
verbally.
Okay.
Also continue to be a member of
ECOWAS. Okay. All right. Dr. Obaseki, I really want to thank you for your time. But before we go, let's set the record straight that Nigeria is actually not a big bonfoo nation, because it's our nation. It belongs to us.
Nigeria. I am a Nigerian, like
I know you are a Nigerian based in the US, but we can't use such statement for a sovereign entity of our country. Or you understand? So on your behalf, I apologize for the use of the wrong words, because we can't take that. All right, it's a national television, and not just national television, it's a live program, and we have a lot of persons watching. All right, I really want to thank you for your time, Doctor.
I said I am not calling Nigeria before. I'm saying in a family where the first one is a bonfoo.
Okay, no problem. We get that now. I really want to thank you.
Lagging is too many things.
All right,
they should assume leadership.
Okay. Because a lot of countries in Africa actually believe that when Nigeria gets it right, every other African countries will follow suit. Okay. So thank you very much for your time, Dr. Obaseki. This beautiful morning in Michigan, United States of America, and this afternoon in Nigeria. We really want to thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, so that's the size of our package on the show this afternoon. Business this week, we've taken a look into what the prospect is, what will happen, what will really happen between these 3 member countries that just that said they've exited verbally, but no written papers yet. But we just hope that in the near future, ECOWAS will actually wake up and sit up to the responsibility and make life actually meaningful for Africans, not just Africans, West Africans. On behalf of the entire team that make the show a success this afternoon, those behind cameras, we want to really thank you for investing your quality time with us on the show. I am Lawrence Osifo saying see you again and bye for now.